There's this group of students that had a paper to submit for the finals. It was actually a take-home exam where they had to answer a series of questions. So they did what most students would do in this situation. They created a Google document and shared among themselves, such that each person can answer the questions individually and then they will combine the ideas in the end. What happened was that each person would log in and do something little, hoping that somehow by magic someone else would do a major portion of the work. Okay, given that they had only 1 week, this persisted to the end. At the last minute, they realized that they had not done anything concrete. Okay, that's when they tried to patch things up, but then it was already too late. Okay, and they ended up having an average grade in this course, which was far lower than what they had hoped to have. So what are the issues with this? First of all, there was no clear definition of who is actually doing what. Okay, and then also there was poor communication. As you can see, they hardly spoke with one another while walking through the different exercises. And also there was no proper follow-up, as no one was trying to find out if the other person has completed their tasks. So these problems and many others are common in most teams, and the root cause lies in the 5 major dysfunctions of a team, which are the absence of trust, the fear of conflict, the lack of commitment, the avoidance of accountability, and the inattention to results. We see that trust is foundational in every team, and without trust it is impossible to have good team dynamics. So to develop good team dynamics, every team needs to work on building trust, mastering conflict, achieving commitment, being accountable to one another, and focusing on results. Okay, as you can see, this is a continuous process, okay, because you can never really get excellent at any of these. Okay, and as long as the team exists, you need to keep building on each of these aspects. But then, before engaging in the process, every team needs to answer the following questions. You need to agree on whether you are a group or a team. This is because team members are interdependent and they share responsibilities, whereas group members aren't. Okay, this will avoid any false expectations, and when that is done, okay, each team member then needs to agree to commit fully to the team building process, because it is not easy and it can be overwhelming emotionally. Once the response to these 2 questions are positive, then you can embark on team building. One of the things that makes building trust difficult in teams is, first of all, the fact that trust means different things to different people, okay, and also frankly because it is not easy to build. So trust is mainly being vulnerable to your teammates, okay, that is being able to open up and express those things that are deep within, like your fears, your failures, or your weaknesses. And of course that takes a lot of courage, because once that is done, there is no turning back and you don't know the outcome. Okay, so the different ways in which you can build trust, okay, is first of all getting to know the personal details about your teammates. Simple things like where they come from, their number of siblings, or even their childhood experiences. Such things will set the base, okay, for them to open up and express other details about themselves. And also you need to spend quality time with them, okay. It shouldn't just be limited to the classroom, okay, or during your group meetings. Spend time out, maybe you visit them, you go for a walk, okay, for dinner, or even to the movies, okay. As you get to spend quality time together, that is how you build trust. So conflict is kind of tricky, because on one hand there's constructive and then there's destructive conflict. Destructive conflict is motivated by selfish reasons, okay, that is they're just arguing, for example, to prove your point, okay, or to boost your ego. Okay, frankly, that's a waste of time and you don't want to get caught up with that. On the other hand, constructive conflict, though it may get messy at times, is for the good of the whole team. It helps in solving problems, okay, and it promotes better results. Okay, let's say for example, when your team has to decide on the best idea for a particular project, okay, that helps the whole team. So how can you encourage constructive conflict? Okay, first of all, there's profiling. Okay, that is determining what each person can take with respect to conflict. Some people prefer, loud, chaotic conflicts, while other people, they prefer calm dialogues. Okay, so you need to be able to know those differences. Then you go ahead and set conflict norms, that is the rules of engaging in conflict. Okay, then you also need to agree on how the team should come to consensus on when there's a particular issue, because you don't want to spend forever conflicting on something. Even when those things have been agreed upon, team members tend to shy away from conflict. So as a leader, you need to be able to encourage them to solve their issues. Let's say when you notice that there's some tension between your team members, you encourage them to talk about it. Okay, then real-time interruptions. This one, though very subtle, really helps, because let's say when you notice 2 of your members talking about something, you like interrupt them briefly and make them understand that what they're doing is actually good for the team, and that they should they should continue with that. Okay, that it will help in building stronger bonds, something like that. So the more team members tend to trust each other, the more they tend to engage in constructive conflict, and this leads to more innovative ideas generated.